AskReddit Storytime. Please like and subscribe. People who met their so or another important person in their life through Reddit. What's your story? Someone posted a photo of Jamaican patties that hit the front page. I commented that amazing patties were sold at a plaza near me, a rather obscure suburban one. I got replies saying I never thought I'd see _plaza mentioned on Reddit. One user sent me a message asking for other takeout suggestions as he just moved near the plaza I wrote about. He mentioned his first name and the big box shop he works at, asking if I knew any good places near there as well. Fast forward 2 years and I'm shopping at the aforementioned big box shop, unable to find the item I need. I ask for help, and this cute guy starts looking up the item. I notice his name tag and the memory just clicks for some reason. Me, is your name _? Him, yeah. Me, do you go on Reddit? Him, yes. Me, we chatted 2 years ago about food. Him, relieved, oh. We've been together over 2 years and are moving in together this July. Smile. I posted to my local subreddit for a few weeks that I was going to play trivia every so often, looking for new friends. One time a guy comments, sure, sounds like fun. So we're at trivia, with 2 other friends of mine, and I just immediately like him. I get him to follow us to karaoke after that. I messaged him a few times, found out he was on OkCupid and was single and asked him out about a week or 2 later. Been together almost 7 years now and married for almost 3. Was going through a depressive time. July 16, 2017 was the death date I decided for myself. I purchased a lot of drugs. I was gonna odd myself. I was addicted to Oxycontin. I also self-harmed. July 15, 2017, I decided to go do something that I loved for my last day on Earth. Play some video games. I got into a lobby of 4 people. Usually I'd mute the players and play music instead, but for some reason something told me to listen. There was a woman in the lobby. She tried including me on the conversation she was having with her 3 friends. So I joined in and it was all great and fun. The next day, my death date, we chatted all day and played video games all night. She made me feel happy and totally made me forget about wanting to kill myself and made the loud voice in my head quiet. To this day, we've almost known each other for 2 years. She's my girlfriend and soon-to-be fiancé. She has 2 amazing kids and I love them both. They call me Dad. She saved my life and gave me a family and lots of love. I owe her the world. My now husband and I both responded to a thread looking for players for a particular role-playing game, and time and commitments worked out so that we both ended up in the same group playing this game. We got to chatting outside the game when I'd mentioned something about my ex-husband, who I still lived with at the time despite being divorced. My now husband was confused about my living situation, so he asked me a few questions. We started chatting more and ended up playing in another game together. At the time I was single, but not really looking. And I told myself I wasn't going to do a long-distance relationship again. My first marriage had started long distance as well, and in chatting about this, my now husband joked and said, I'm going to make you love me. It went on for a few months after that, and in early 2014 we had a long chat by email and through Skype, a lot of back and forth, and eventually decided that okay, yeah, we'd try this thing. He was in the UK, I was in Australia. I went to the UK for the first time ever to visit him at the end of 2015. I went back again at the end of 2016 and in January 2017 he asked me to marry him. That was also the weekend my ex-husband died, so it was a very happy moment followed by several of the most traumatic weeks of my life. But my partner was so supportive and caring through the whole thing, I knew I'd made the right decision. I'd already sold my house in Australia back at the beginning of 2016, and unfortunately shortly after my ex passed away, our dog also died. So there was very little tying me back to my home country. We prepared all the documents and requirements for planning a wedding and a fiancé visa for the UK, and in August 2018 my visa was granted. I quit my job of 10 years, got on a plane and arrived in the UK in September 2018. We were married in October, and my temporary residence was approved in January 2019. We've been living together since September. Things aren't always perfect, but I'm happier than I'd been in a very long time. He's a very sweet man, I adore him to the ends of the earth, and I'm so happy that I get to spend, hopefully, the rest of my life with him. I had just moved to NZ and the Auckland sub was having semi-regular meetups. I decided to go and meet some new people. My partner was a local but had broken up with his girlfriend a few months prior and decided to go to the meetup for similar reasons. We made a good group of friends and ended up at a few outings together and started flirting. We started dating a couple months before my visa was up but could tell this had potential to be something special. We decided to move in together so that I would be eligible for a partnership visa and stay in the county. It made the relationship move pretty fast, but 5+ years later, we're married, bought a house in Auckland, a huge feat these days, have a lovely 2-year-old pupper, and just welcomed our baby girl into the world in March. We are so in love and have a wonderful, happy life together. All thanks to our Auckland having some meetups at the local pub. I was a high school graduate and extremely bored, so I decided to stay up all night and get donuts at stupid early in the morning. I really wanted someone to talk to keep me awake, so I browsed r/r for people around my age. Let's be honest, I was looking for guys around my age lol. I messaged a handful of people and talked to the first ones who messaged back. There were about 3, one guy I talked to all night until I realized he was a frat boy douche, and 2 others who didn't really interest me because we didn't have the same, well, interests. I ended up messaging one of them back anyway, since I still had a couple hours to kill. He lived in PA and I lived in CO. We got along just fine, but I still wasn't very interested. He asked if we could Skype later that day, and I almost completely blew him off again. But I decided to give him a chance, and we Skyped while playing Minecraft together later that night. We had a blast and we talked for hours and hours and hours for several days. After a week or so, he asked me to be his girlfriend and I said yes. We met in person a couple months later and clicked instantly. We would visit each other a couple times a year until about 2.5 years ago, when we finally moved in together. Our 5-year anniversary is in about a week. Smile. Posted on /r/r for are looking for an NFL watching buddy. Since I'm a woman, I received upwards of 100 messages. Any woman that's ever posted on that sub knows how it is, but I made it harder on myself posting about a male-dominated hobby. For some reason one guy in particular stuck out. We messaged on and off and for brief periods of time for about 4 months. From then on we started chatting a lot more consistently. I had already developed a thing for him. And then I found out he lived in my dream city on top of it. 2,100 miles apart, and somehow we made long-distance work for 3 years. After 10 visits back and forth, this past December my dog and I moved in with him. He's sitting beside me right now. Smile. I found the woman that took care of my father before he died. I had never met nor seen a photo of my father my entire adult life. Long story short, I knew his name, his social security number, and that he was born in Marseille, France. Posted something to Reddit private investigators. A few days later, a fellow Redditor on that forum gave me a name and phone number of someone that was listed as relative or close friend. He did this for free. I called her and she returned my call. Thanks to that great man, Redditor, I later exchanged letters with Rose. She told me how my father died of dementia, how they met, sent me photos of my father and my distant sister. I never knew I had. It was closure of not knowing him. Not ever seen photos and details on a chapter of my life I never thought I would know. So, yes, Reddit can be a great and powerful tool thanks to a great community. AskReddit Storytime. Please like and subscribe.